So I'm here with Karis Barry, who lives at 138 Fitzroy Avenue. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. Could you tell me how it has been for you living here on Fitzroy?
It's been really good. It's like really different to where I've always lived before, because I kind of grew up on a private road, which is really, really different to this.
Is this back in your family home?
Yeah, like originally, and then we moved to one that was like on a main road, and this is like a cross between the two. Cause you'd think, because it was in Holy Lands, it'd be really busy, but it's not actually that busy. But it's like not as nice an area as I'm used to, probably. It's I was like actually quite worried about moving into Holy Lands because of like student area and kind of what you hear about it. You hear a lot of rumours, but
what do you hear about it?
I suppose, well, a lot of trouble started here, like the riots and stuff, so you get nervous about that. But then, because my dad grew up here, he didn't want me to stay in the Holy Lands because he grew up here in the Troubles. But I mean, it's not like that in my experience anymore. But it's like, I think it's a cool student area. Like, being this close to uni is really good, and like I hear that further down Fitzroy isn't as nice and not as safe. Like, I suppose I'm a little bit worried about safety here because our house got broken into. But
what happened?
It was before we actually moved in. There was like nothing in our house, but they like came in through the back window, and now we've got like massive fences in and stuff. So I suppose sometimes Romanians like look through the window, like our neighbours are really helpful and always chase them away. But so like I suppose that's a fear about living here. But I like the kind of like student vibe you get here. It's like, I suppose this house for me is like my student house, but it's also kind of like, I think for like English students it's more of a home, whereas like Northern Irish students, they come here just to sleep for like the week or whatever. But I live here like maybe not most of the year, but half of the year, so I would probably say that this was more my home than where I live probably. But at the same time, it's not like, we're not very house proud. But I think for like some of my flatmates, because they don't have a home back in England anymore for various reasons, so this is their home. Like, so in our house, like more than other people I know, we kind of made it into a home by like making curtains and stuff like that. So I think we have like a kind of a different experience of our house than most people that I know.
Do you mean home to sort of mean personal touches? What's a home to you?
To me, I don't know. I don't really understood this. Like, I think I moved when I was 14 from Bath to a place called Street, and I still think that Bath's my home. That's my hometown. Even though we rent our house out, we don't live there ever. I suppose it's like partly a choice, I think, maybe. Like, you kind of like, people say home is where your heart is, and I think that's kind of true in a way, but I think it's also
an emotional attachment.
Yeah, and it's also a decision. Like, I decided that Street wasn't going to be my home because I didn't want to be there. But I think like I really like at the moment being in Belfast and this being my uni life, so I think I kind of made the decision that this is my home.
Do you think of Belfast as your home, or is this house in particular?
Probably this house, I think, for me. Kind of didn't realise it until we were going to move out, and then I was like, oh no, I don't want to move. But I think that was more maybe a locational thing, but I think, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of scrappy. It's like, it's not like, we always call this area, because like, so if we, like, Stranmillis, the Upper East Side, and then down here we're like in, what's it called, outside of New York? Not the Bronx, but not New Jersey. Anyway, I can't remember what it's called. But let's say the Bronx. Like, this is the kind of rough area, but I like it. I like being...
Do you have any sort of sense of pride of living here? What do you feel about friends that live in other parts of Belfast?
I think I don't really have any pride in living here. I think Stranmillis is like you're more house proud over there. But then like, I don't know, like the outside of our house is horrible, it's disgusting, so I'm not very proud of the outside, but inside it's also kind of not very nice. But there are like little features that I love, and I also like, I think this is more of a home for me because all of our friends pop round all the time, and like it's kind of locational, like people can come visit whenever they want, people do, whereas I don't go up to Stramley that often. So I suppose that's probably what makes it a home for me, is that it's kind of like when I was growing up, like in our house we had an open door policy, like literally there's never anyone not in our house that doesn't live there, like all the time, and then like here's kind of like that as well, so I think that's what makes a home for me.
You said you knew your neighbours, or they help you out sometimes. I mean,
yeah.
Is that unusual that you know your neighbours? Are they students as well?
They're students as well. Where same thing at home, like my parents are really open and whatever, so we've always known our neighbours, but I think here we only met them like basically we came home from a night out, and my flatmate Ethan was like, can we come in your house, because we always hear them having parties, so we went in their house, and that's how we met them. And then I only met 2 of them, and then the other day they came round on our formal night actually. And like the day before is when the guys, like I came back and this guy was like standing here like looking at my window, and I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, there were just people looking in your window, like I told them to go away and stuff, which is nice. Like they seem like, I don't know them very well, but they seem cool, and like we always say hi. But
a little bit of security as well, having that extra watch. Yeah. What can you tell me about Fitzroy itself, like the people here, what it's like? Has it got a reputation at all?
Yeah, like you'll be like, oh, I live on Fitzroy, and people will be like, oh, and I'm always like, I've never experienced that, to be honest, but everyone is always like, okay, but we apparently live at the nice end. I think like even the shoes up there, that's apparently a sign of drug dealers. So that, like, I suppose that's not that safe. And oh my goodness, could we pause it for a second just because